Okay, so I was gonna have a mainline video that was gonna come out before they announced the Direct, but unfortunately, it is August 8th right now and they just announced it. I thought it would be later in the month. I don't have time to finish the video I was working on. Thankfully, I didn't even finish writing it. I've been super busy. But yeah, we're gonna just be discussing what I would want to see in this Direct and just kind of in the game in general. These are things that I think could be added, but also things that I just kind of want to be added. So not everything in this list is like, yeah, I think they're going to add it, because honestly, I kind of doubt it for a lot of this stuff, but I still want to talk about it. So let's get into it. Okay, first off, and hear me out on this, I want to see a season pass in this game. It needs to be free, of course, but this would replace the update cycle that they had for Splatoon 2, which honestly wasn't really my favorite, because it was just kind of random when they'd come out, and then in between each update, they didn't add much. I think at the beginning, it was weekly weapons, and then every month there'd be a new stage for a little bit, and then they just started doing monthly 4 weapons, and they stopped adding stages, and then each major update, they'd add a bunch of weapons, stages, and gear, and whatever. And they didn't do that for too long. I mean, it lasted for like 2 years, and I think we got like 5 or 6 major updates. I don't remember because it was like 4 years ago, and Splatoon 2 has been out for 5 years, and I was 12, so I don't remember it, but seasons would replace this. They would be free, they'd be a set amount of time, and when a season starts, it adds a bunch of stuff. A bunch of weapons, a bunch of gear, a bunch of stages, songs, just everything you'd expect to see in an update. But then there'd also be a season pass, and this would have weapon skins, gear items, emotes, banner items, money, tickets, all of this stuff, and it would incentivize you to play the game. So yeah, if you missed a season, you don't get the stuff, but it's also not like you're not missing out on a weapon. The weapons and like sub-weapons, special weapons, those are all in the game. Everything that's in the battle pass, which will be free, is simply cosmetic. And again, it will incentivize people to play the game, so more people who have the game will want to play it, and more people who don't have the game will want to get it. I think it'll make the updates a lot better and expand the lifespan of the game a lot. And they could also use it for story, like Fortnite. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of Fortnite. I personally really like to play it with my buddies. And they could do that, expanding the lore of the game even more, instead of just having a story mode and then separating the multiplayer from the story. I don't know, it's just a thought. They don't even have to do the story thing, but having a season pass, they're kind of doing it actually with Switch Sports, which, I mean, it's okay, it's not the best in my opinion, but if they expand on that idea and kind of do what I said, while also having some, like, more small updates throughout each season, like what Fortnite does, that would be really cool. Next is a small thing. I think they need to add something, again, harkening back to Fortnite. It has something called the locker, where it is just all of your gear and everything that you own, but it's really organized, and it's super nice, and I love this. It is so awesome. There's so many customizable options, so many ways to sort and look through, and Splatoon 2 is a mess. You can't sort, you can't customize, you can't do anything. The only thing you can really, like, have presets with is Amiibo, and that's stupid. I don't want to get my Amiibo on my shelf, which granted is like 5 feet from me, but I'm lazy, I don't want to get up and do that. Just have a system like this in place instead of the junk that is in Splatoon and Splatoon 2. I also think adding emotes to the game, as again, people are probably going to be getting mad at me because I'm doing Fortnite stuff, but emotes are honestly something that's really fun, because a lot of them are stupid and they're just goofy, and it's just a fun time with friends to do emotes. And you can be toxic with them, you can be funny with them. It would make the game a lot more fun, in my opinion, but like, it's not necessary. It's just like, haha, look at my squid doing this stupid dance or whatever. And then something else they need to add, kind of with emotes, is more things for the directional pad. This way in Booyah is not enough. There needs to be a lot more. You can say things like objective or fall back. I don't know, but just sayings that you don't even need to unlock. I don't think these need to be unlockables. I think they just need to be in the base game, and then you can choose four for a circle. And that could also be in the locker for presets too. You can have different presets for like different modes or whatever. But this way in Booyah is honestly not enough. I think things like seasonal events need to be in the game. They kind of did it with 2, but they were just kind of seasonal Splatfests, and nothing really changed except for exclusive gear and the length. But even then, I'm pretty sure you can still get that exclusive gear now, so it's not really exclusive. But yeah, they need to have seasonal events, like exclusive modes. A lot of games, even mobile games, do it. So if Splatoon 2 did it, that would be really awesome. They could have a summer event, they could have a winter event, Halloween event. You know, those are just off the top of my head. And speaking of events, Splatfests need to last way longer than 2 years. I'm sorry, that's not enough. Granted, you could make the excuse they're doing it for the next game, because they kind of need to like know the story, because the final Splatfest is based on what happens in the last game. So I mean, that's true, but then you also look at Splatoon 2 and it's like, oh, they had Splatfests after the final one. So they could just do a final fest and then still have Splatfests after it, and not even call the final fest that. I mean, I don't know. That was really confusing. But Splatfest needs to last longer than 2 years. That's too short. I think having a PvP mode would also be really cool. Maybe just even have a ranked mode that the entire objective is to just kill other players, and it would be on a bigger map. It wouldn't be Battle Royale. Battle Royale in Splatoon would not work unless you gave the players a lot more health, but even then, I just don't see it working with the weapon pool. But having a PvP mode with a lot of players on a larger map, and you just keep respawning, and whoever gets the most amount of splats wins. And you could have like different weapons to switch through on the fly, different subs, you know, special meter. I think that'd be really cool. I personally don't see it happening. I don't see a lot of this stuff happening, but it would still all be really cool. I also think Amiibo need a function. I'm really hoping we get Splatoon 3 Amiibo. I love Amiibo a lot, and I wish they'd make more of them. I think we're gonna get Splatoon 3 Amiibo. I don't see why we would get Amiibo from the first 2 games and not this game. So hopefully they do the tried and true Inkling girl. It'll be an Octoling boy, since that's the mascot for this game, and then either a squid or an octopus, excuse me. Maybe we'll even see Callie and Marie, or some story Amiibo like Cuttlefish. I don't know. That's getting my hopes really high. Hopefully there is Amiibo though. And with all the Amiibo that exist, let's get some crossovers. You know, we could get Mario's hat. I mean, I've already said this in a, I think it was my first video. We can get like Mario's hat, Samus's arm gun, just weapon skins and different gear that we can use for the Amiibo that we either already have or are looking to buy. I think that would be really cool to add. There also needs to be a replay mode in this game, and this is something I'm kind of adamant about. I hope that what we saw in that Turf War trailer, I hope that was a replay. I hope that wasn't just a private battle camera function. That would really suck if it was. I don't see why the camera would be there in the top left corner unless it was a replay mode, because that it doesn't look like it's, hey, this is, you're watching the battle right now. It looks like, hey, you're replaying this. So hopefully they add that, because going back and like getting really cool camera shots and whatever of different matches and whatever, I mean, that would be really cool for content creators. This is a little more of a niche thing, what I'm about to say. I think there needs to be a marker on the map. So when you're in Fortnite, you can like, I think it's, I have mine default to left on the D-pad, or down, I forget. I think it's left. If you're like looking somewhere and you click left on the D-pad, you can mark something on the map, and if you double tap, then it'll be a warning. Having this in Splatoon in a fast-paced shooter would be extremely beneficial. I don't know what button they would put it on. They could just put it on the D-pad because, you know, they're not using the other 2 D-pad buttons, but whatever. They could do that, because like I'll be in a match and just out of pure muscle memory, I'll be calling out to my teammates or whatever. If I'm playing with my friends, I'll be like, guys over here, and then I'll double tap the D-pad and they'll be like, what are you talking about, where? and I look on the map and then no one's near me and then I die and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so dumb. It would be a lot easier to do that instead of being like guys flanking from this part of the map on blah blah blah. Because again, Splatoon is a fast-paced shooter, and like as being the leader of my team, it can get really hard to call out fast things sometimes because you have to get really specific in some maps and whatever, especially if like there are people who aren't necessarily close to you. So having a marker where you can just easily mark stuff on the map would be very useful. I think there also needs to be more DLC, like paid DLC in the game, specifically for story mode stuff. I would be so down if there was a bunch of DLC for this game, if I'm being completely honest. The Octo expansion was damn near perfection, and I think Splatoon 3's story mode is looking to be really good. It looks fantastic. I mean, like, it looks leagues better than 2, of course, and it looks better than 1. Granted, the originals was very simplistic, and 2's was just a shitty copy and paste. But I would love to just have a bunch of levels in this game, and DLC that has, you know, gear and maybe even a new species. I don't know. The Octo expansion was so good. I'd love to see any form of DLC in this game, if I'm being honest. I think the HUD needs to be updated because what we saw in the Turf War trailer was kind of lackluster. It looks too similar to Splatoon 2, which is surprising because Splatoon 2 only had like a year and a half in the oven, whereas 3 has had like, I think 2 to 3 years, because I think it started in like mid 2019. The HUD just looks so similar. It's like there are a lot of new things, and the new things they added are fantastic, and I love them. And then there are things like the death screen, where it looks exactly the same, with the, what's it called? Like the player tag just placed awkwardly in the bottom right corner. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, a better HUD would be really nice. I really want an on-screen ink meter that shows how much ink or ammo that you have left, because oh god, I hate looking at my inkling. There are some times where you can't see how much ink you have, and then I die because of it, and I'm like, oh my god, if I could see my ammo, then I would have survived, but I just can't do that, and I don't really know why they haven't done that yet. And then the last thing that I want is the arcade games to return. Hopefully there are like 8 games to choose from, and there could be like a little side menu when you're waiting for games to play them. Or, you know, they could be in the apartments. Hopefully apartments are in this game. I kind of forgot that people wanted those. I think it would be really cool if they added them though. But like while you're waiting for a game, you could like chill and walk around in your apartment, and then there could be like a tablet or something, or an arcade cabinet in the apartment, and then if you like click A, you can choose from the games either while you're waiting for matches, or like there could be like a little sub menu when you're in Splatsville and it says like return to apartment, and then you could just play the games whenever. God, yeah, I forgot about the apartment. That would be really cool to have though, just a little customizable area. You could invite people to see it when you're waiting for games and whatever. But yeah, having the arcade games return would be very nice. I really liked playing them, and I've missed playing them. I've been looking online to see if anyone's like recreated them so I can just play them on my PC. I haven't found them yet though, and I really don't want to dig out my Wii U and just hook it all up, load Splatoon, and then play the arcade games for like 5 to 10 minutes. But yeah. Alright, so that was everything that was going to be in my video. Obviously, it was going to be like half of the length of this video, and there was going to be a lot more editing, but I want to get this video out, I want to get this video out as fast as possible, so it'll probably be out on the 9th. It will be out on the 9th, because if it's not out on the 9th, I'm not going to be releasing it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll be streaming direct, and yeah, see you guys on the flip side.